So here are the boards that we laminated in the last episode, and in this episode we'll be giving them their final cutting to cut out the pieces to assemble to make our coconut scraper. So I ended up putting some extra clamps on this one overnight because I wanted a really good strong top for the coconut scraper, and you can see that's come out really nicely. I'm very happy with the arrangement. So I'm going to use this sliding miter saw to cut through the boards. I don't use it very often, it's just a cheap one. It's good for cutting through long cuts if you want them really accurate. So these are legs, just measuring how long they are and then just dividing that by 2, marking off the halfway point, and then showing where they'll be divided into 2. So we've got 2 legs. Make some final cuts to the top as well. And then I'm running everything through this planer thicknesser. It's just taking a little bit off the top just to smooth everything out and make it all uniform in thickness. So just running everything through there once or twice, flip it over, do the other side. And this is an amazing machine for turning old wood into new wood as well. As you can see, get some nice smooth boards out of it. Really happy with that. We've got the top, 2 legs and 2 braces, and they're almost ready to assemble, but a little more work on those legs. I want to be able to cut a spot in each corner that the brace can sit in. It's going to make for a much stronger, sturdier stool. You know, coconut scraper gets a little bit of force applied to it, so it needs to be strong. Anyway, to cut those corners, I'm going to use this sled. The sled fits into the little slot on top of the table saw, and I can use it to slide things back and forth, and I can get a really accurate cut that way. So here I'm just raising the saw blade up to the height that I want it to cut. That's the first step. And then placing the piece that I'm working on behind the saw blade so I can see exactly where it's going to cut from side to side. And once I'm happy with the position, grab a clamp it into place, and then that's going to make a really accurate cut right exactly where I want it to cut. And then the good news about using the sled too is you only need to measure one side, and I can put the fence up against where I've placed it, unclamp it from the sled, and flip the whole piece around, and this is both legs being done at the same time. And the fence will then show exactly where it needs to be placed in order to get exactly the same cut on the other side. So if you want accurate cuts in something, this is a great way to do it. Alright, and then I'm doing the same thing, but cutting in the opposite direction, cutting at 90 degrees to the last cut that I made. And sorry about the camera angle, it's a bit hard to see what I'm doing here. But I'm basically, checking the height of the saw blade, checking the position of it, and then using the fence to flip it around and do the same thing to the other side. And making sure it's clamped in place, and then you get a really accurate 90-degree cut each time. Yeah, and then I'm just testing it for fit. Yeah, and both ways you get a really nice fit for that brace. Okay, not quite finished with the legs. I thought I'd take a V out of the middle of them. It makes it look more like it has 4 legs instead of just 2 big planks on either end. And to do that, I'm going to use the miter saw again, 20 degrees. I'm not cutting all the way through, just giving me a good guideline. and then just finishing each cut off by hand. All right, and now we have all the parts ready to assemble in the final video, so join us for that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for the last video of making a coconut scraper.